Good morning. As a teacher, what's the best way to get into the top 1%? How do you get to be the person who gets the phone calls, who gets the DMs, who gets the emails to say, hey, we've got a job for you. We found something and we think you're going to be a great fit. And you're sitting back there in the morning and there it is. Whoa. Now, one way is to kind of wait for the world to notice you and to wait for that invitation. Hey, you know what, Bob? We really think you should be in the top 1% with us. Why don't you come on in, join the club? Here's the key to our 1% washroom. Or you can just put yourself into the 1%. So, Andrew, wait a minute. How do you put yourself into the 1%? I thought you had to be invited. Yeah, okay. I'm not saying that's impossible. I mean, you might get the invite. It might happen to you, but I wouldn't hold out very long for that to happen. I wouldn't just sit around waiting. Or just waiting. So while you're waiting, why not just make an attempt to put yourself in there? And one way you can do it is to put yourself into the tiny group, and I mean tiny, tiny, tiny group who actually produces original content for LinkedIn. That's right here on LinkedIn. I've read different reports of different figures of the number of people who post weekly content on LinkedIn. It's something like 1%, or maybe less than 1%. Regularly posting, say, weekly on LinkedIn. So that means out of the 700 plus million people out there that might use LinkedIn every once in a while, maybe just a few million are actually posting on there regularly. Just think about what that means, okay? So you wake up in the morning. Is anybody telling you, hey, Bob, you're not allowed to post anything on LinkedIn? You're not allowed to write anything. Is anybody doing that? No. Okay. I know I'm being condescending. I'm sorry. But I just want to remind you that nobody's out there telling you can't do this, okay? And take a guess, the only source of the negative comments. Where could it be coming from? Yeah, it's all from us. I can't do it. Who am I to say anything on LinkedIn? Who's going to listen to me? Probably no one's going to watch. All that stuff. Okay, that is the only factor that's actually stopping you from showing up and producing something for LinkedIn, whether it's a video or a written post, even a picture. Okay, now, if you were to do this and post everything you can think of on LinkedIn, post once a week, you would automatically, just by sheer numbers alone, you would automatically be in the top 1%. And nobody's going to say, no, sorry, you can't do that. Whether or not anybody actually watches your stuff, that's the thing. I mean, if nobody watches your content, let's say in the first year or so, but you post regularly on LinkedIn every week, you're in the top 1%. Now, why is that important? Number one, well, maybe the only reason I want to talk about right now, is in negotiating, you always want to have a backup opportunity that for you is takeable, okay? So if you study the work by William Ury, he talks about BATNA, which is the best alternative to a negotiated agreement. Okay, so every year or every 3 months or however often it is, you renegotiate your contract. And at that time, the worst thing you can do as an employee now is to have that one and only one opportunity right now. You're at the mercy of your boss right there, aren't you? And it's a terrible feeling to be sitting there going, well, I hope I get my contract renewed, or I really hope I don't get my salary reduced, or I hope I get that extra 5% raise. So what you can do to make sure that you have a stronger negotiating position is to develop that BATNA, to get a real alternative. And that's how you can do it on LinkedIn, you see. You can check yourself into the 1%. Start developing content, post it every week, or maybe every month. And start building an audience, start adding value for people. And so when it's time for you to renew your contract, by that time, if you've been posting enough, you're going to be getting those little DMs and those emails and those messages. Hey, Bob, we noticed your post on LinkedIn. We'd like to invite you for a chat about your next opportunity. And the vast majority of those unadvertised opportunities are going to go to the 1%ers. We all know this. I mean, It's not like it's a secret. So once again, don't wait around to be in the 1%. Check yourself in.